latest poll that came out, some intriguing numbers in terms of the mood of the country.
Well, the mood of the country continues to be sour. People are unhappy with the economy. They're unhappy with their own lives. They're still riveted on inflation, concerned about immigration and crime. These are not good numbers for President Biden, who's seeking re-election. But there is a little green shoot here, in that there's a little uptick over the last 4 or 5 months in terms of people who see the economy strengthening. So if he can keep that going here for another 4 or 5 months, then he'll get to a place where at least the economy could be a draw. Although right now it's a big negative.
I want to drill down on the political impact, but just from a semantics point of view, people are sour on the economy, but yet when you look at the optimist-pessimist divide, it would appear that they are more optimistic about their own lives. Am I making too much of that, or is it overall generally a negative outlook?
Well, no, I think I have a chapter in my book Microtrends called Happy Pessimists, which is that it's a certain mode that Americans like to get into, in which, on the one hand, they're optimistic about their own life. On the other hand, they're pessimistic about the country and everything that's going on in the larger environment. I think here you see some optimism. I've seen higher levels of optimism. You see, however, 49% saying that their economic situation is deteriorating. So I think optimism is tempered here with some realism that people are still feeling the effects of inflation primarily, and that's really how they're viewing the economy. Even though inflation may be abating, the job numbers are good. And in fact, retail sales continue to be good. So the economy itself is better than people think it is. They're spending more than they think they are. And how this is going to change or converge in the next 6 months will determine whether or not we pivot to genuine optimism, or this kind of mixed feeling I think that voters have now.
To your point, the economy is looking pretty good, all things considered. Is it a lagging indicator how people feel about it, or is it usually more of a, I hate to say canary in the coal mine, but more of something of what's to come? I mean, just again, this disconnect between the reality of what's happening in the economy and how people feel about it. 'Twas ever thus?
No, definitely public attitudes towards an economy is a lagging indicator. The stock market will generally go first. The public will come on only grudgingly after they've got to stand on the ice before they believe they're not going to fall in. And I think that typically that's what I see. I've seen it too in the political life that it takes an administration about 6 months after you get some decent numbers to start to really change attitudes towards the economy, and that attitudes towards the economy may in fact have nothing to do with the reality of the economy. The perceptions of the economy are driven by the news very frequently, except if unemployment is really high and your friends have lost their jobs. That will give you personal experience. Or when you go to the store or the pump, and the pump is getting better, the store is still pretty high priced, that's what's driving a lot of attitudes here.
What about the housing market?
Well, get a mortgage if you can.
Very true.
I think that the interest rates going up, but remember now, we have maybe interest rates are going to come down. That'll bring mortgages down. Gas prices have come down. Inflation has come down. As bad as things seem today, wow, things seemed, if you go back in the stock market maybe 30 days ago, things looked like they were going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Before they turned around. I think that there's some definitely, I hate to use this cliche, green shoots, but there are definitely some green shoots here. Whether or not they really develop or not, well, that's something we're going to have to see over the next 4 to 6 months.
So